there. I realized recently just how negative the story that I had been telling myself was. Even when I went to write this entry, I wrote that I realized how negative the story I have been telling myself was. And I was like, no, 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 Hill. We got to erase that and we got to write had because we have changed the story. This is not an ongoing negative Nancy story. This is when you put the Debbie Downer in the corner and you move forward, right? And I, it's one of those things that I had a really rough summer. Like I fell down a mental rabbit hole in June where I really was playing that negative narrative up. Like, whew, that negative narrative was, she was running in every direction possible. And the problem with a brain like mine is it can think of 100 different solutions, but it can also think of 100 different problems at the same time. And I, despite the fact that I was having a very rough summer, I had been telling myself like all summer that because I was having such a bad time, clearly I was being unproductive. Clearly I was not doing enough. I was telling myself that I wasn't doing enough so much that I like hit a breaking point in like the beginning of August where I like called my dad crying after very little sleep one night and the birds flying towards me. You can't see them, but let me just say I don't like flying things. Um I wish you could see them because I feel like I look crazy right now. Um anyways, I have been telling myself a really negative story and I basically like I convinced myself that I was not moving forward whatsoever, when in actuality, I was very much still trying to move forward. But the problem was me. The problem was my mentality. The problem, like maybe I'm the problem. And I realized when I like finally hit that breaking point and I came back from it that I'm very much a data person, and I looked at the data from the past couple of weeks up till that point and or the past couple of months up until that point, and I realized that I've been telling myself like, oh, you've been lazy, you haven't been doing anything, you haven't been like, you've just been pos, like piece of um and then I like looked at the past couple of months at that point and I was like, Haley, you've posted a video every week, like you've gone you've stuck with what you said you would do, you have done extra on top of what you said you would do. And yet you are sitting here telling yourself that you have not done enough and that you like never do enough and all of that jazz when it's bull. It's baloney. I I was more than doing enough. I'm glad that at least you saw some bird flaps, so I don't look like I'm completely crazy, but when I tell you there are a lot of birds here. I feel like I kind of feel like the pigeon lady from Home Alone. It's fine. I don't have any bread on me, but maybe next time. And I realized that while yes, I was moving forward this past summer, I it kind of felt like I have like cement bricks on my feet. And so every step that I took forward, it would take all of the effort in me to move those bricks just a simple inch forward. And no wonder why I was exhausted and I hit a breaking point and I would convince myself that I wasn't actually moving forward, because when you're moving forward only 1 inch at a time, but it feels like you should be moving like, multiple feet at a time, of course you don't feel like you're actually doing anything. You know? It's like how when people post all the time on YouTube and they're like, I feel like I'm talking into the void, right? Of course you don't feel anything. But at the same time, just it's all inching its way towards the end goal. And by the time I started changing that narrative in my story, especially my internal story, I feel like I just started like chiseling away at those cement bricks. And I feel like I had to take a proper pause to remove the cement bricks rather than, oh, it's fine, like they'll wear down with time, right? Like the the cement has to eventually wear down if I just keep moving them forward, like cement grinding on the cement ground, like my cement bricks, my grinding on the cement ground, like they have to be wearing down, right? But the problem is that it's also wearing you down while doing it. And so taking that forced pause towards the beginning of this fall has entirely changed my perspective. And the funny part is that the pause that I chose, I still thought that I was going to continue on with real estate. And then by the time I had like a really bad ear infection that caused me to pause for another month, um, that pause, that forced pause, was the thing that made me think, okay, you actually need to completely revamp the path that you're on, because right now, like, you think that you're going to be removing these cement bricks, but you don't realize that eventually, like, you're just actually building them up. Like, you're wet cement, you're walking through wet cement, so they're just getting bigger and bigger. And the forced pause really helped me, because again, I'm such a data person. The forced pause made me go down the data rabbit hole of my life. And I was very happy with the data that I saw. And that's what I get to like share during these journal entries, is I get to share all of the data that I'm discovering about me and my life, or that not even I, sometimes I'm discovering it and sometimes I am just remembering it because I discovered it and then I forgot it and then I discovered it again and then I forgot it again. You just keep going in a circle. But having these entries is a forced remembering period for me. I have to sit here and I have to talk for anywhere between like 5 to 10 minutes about how I do the things that I say that I will, how I do actually move forward, how the story, the negative story that I've told myself is not actually like the real one. The real one is the facts that I have in front of me. And if there's one thing I like to cling on to, it is facts. So, because I like to end my videos with a question, since that is what I do during my sessions with people, what story are you telling yourself? And is it actually serving you? Because if not, how are we going to change that? Because let me tell you, it's way more fun without those cement bricks on your feet. Have a great day.